Hello and welcome back to another episode of SNBN Shred Through Your Head Show. And yes, the milk cartons really worked with finding our co-host. Thank you to Dairy Companies. Welcome back, Dylan. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad
to be back.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? You've been gone. Tell us, what have you been up to?
Well, I went off to Italy for 2 weeks.
Wow.
That was
2
quite
weeks.
nice.
Wow, that's a long time.
Want to hear anything about the trip?
Yes, I would love to. I would love to hear some things about the trip. But first, what is Italy? Like, all I know is that it's a place in the world, and that the mountain bike race Val di Sol's there. Were you able to see that, or no?
No, sadly, wasn't able to see it. Wasn't even able to ride there because bike shipping costs are a bit too much.
Oh, okay.
And people drive really crazy there.
Okay.
But I got to go see the usual Rome, Florence, all those. I got to go see the Dolomites and really enjoyed that.
So that was your favorite thing to see?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the mountain biking scene?
Well, as you can see, brought back an Italian mountain biking magazine, and well, sadly I can't look or read a lick of it, but a beautiful bike still translates, like the Cannondale Jackal.
No promotion. Okay, so yes, that is a great bike. You're so right, Cannondale Jackal. Definitely translates into Italian with being, it's a bike. Bikes translate to every language because bikes are amazing. So again, it's great to have you back. It's great to be back. It's great to be back with you guys. And a quick recognition of the Rider of the Week. The Rider of the Week this week is Ricardo Montalban. I hope I didn't pronounce your last name wrong. But thank you, Ricardo. I like the picture. Looks like you race. Keep racing. Okay. So, Dill, why don't you talk about what we're going to be discussing in today's episode today?
Sure. Well, today on today's episode, we'll be discussing truing wheel and how to do it without a truing stand, and even when you're on the go. Because when you're on a trip and your wheel goes out of true and it can potentially ruin a ride, it's helpful to be able to have that skill. So, and it's not as hard as you'd think.
Okay.
It's mostly just tedious.
Okay, but it's simple work that just takes a little bit of time.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that. We also have a returning segment. Oh, so that's what it means. Breaking news. First on breaking news this week, we have the World Cup Downhill Series, which comes to an end on Saturday, with 3 riders in contention for the title. We have South Africa's Greg Minnaar, America's Aaron Gwin, and Australia's Floyd Brosnan, who is back in 3rd. Next, we have the Guleklen Adventure Park, or GAP. It has been a year in the making, and today we can announce that the brand new bike park is opening just 15 minutes from the centre of Dublin in Ireland. There will be now 3 hounds chasing you down in October as Loic Bruni joins G. Atherton at Red Bull Fox Hunt. And lastly, Rocky Mountain's Instinct Bikes have always been British Columbia's company go-to trail bike, ready for almost any ride and any trail, up or down. That is it for breaking news. Okay, so now we are at, so that's what it means. And we have 2 new terms in this reoccurring segment, and they both have to do with jumping. So the first one is case. So this is an adjective to describe when a mountain bike rider does a jump and their front tire correctly makes it on the downslope of the landing, but the back tire doesn't make it to the downslope. It comes from a motocross term where you're casing on a motorcycle. The lower middle part of the bike, where the mechanical components are located, hits the peak of the downslope landing, and instead of the entire bike coming down on the landing smoothly, it doesn't come down very smoothly. For example, I thought his bike was going to break in half because he did not have the speed and he really cased that jump.
Hi, the second term is huck. This is a verb to define a jump or drop off from a large height down to flat ground. The height of what determines a huck will vary from skill level of groups of bikers, but it is often reserved for very high drops of 10 feet or more. For example, he just hucked that 15-foot drop onto the trail and just kept riding.
Gnarly. Okay, so just remember that these terms and terms from past episodes are online on our Quizlet, and the link for that will be in the description below. Go online, check them out, learn some new terms.
Well, so now we're going to be truing wheels without a truing stand, and with pretty much nothing other than spoke wrenches.
So what do we need? What do we need? Like, so for the viewers, you guys need to know what you need, and we'll give you some time to gather those things. But just list what do we need?
Well, we need spoke wrenches. I prefer the professional kind of spoke wrenches, which they're each separate sizes.
Okay.
But if you have just a spoke wrench wheel, it works just fine.
Okay. So so what would you do first? Like, so I see you kind of set up this little bit, and you have some blue on some of these. Can you explain what that is?
I pre-mark the spokes because it's just to save us a little bit of time. But the main reason why we pre-mark the spokes is because we know which spokes to tighten, so we actually get that wobble in the wheel taken out.
Okay, so now we have a close-up. Dylan, do you want to explain exactly what you're doing so the viewers know what they're going to be doing?
Yes. To start off, you want to check where the actual wobble in the wheel is. So to do that, you can use a couple of zip ties like this, and then just spin the wheel and listen for it, and you might be able to hear it. You can hear an occasional
You hear it right there, yeah.
But what I like to do with this, instead of using zip ties or anything like that, I like to stick my thumb.
So when you stick your thumb, that's probably like once you've like gotten pretty good at this, right?
Yes, it can be extremely helpful to practice this with the zip ties first, and then go over to using your thumb, or you can even use just your index finger and run.
Okay, so you just want an object touching it, but when you first start off, you probably want to start with the zip tie, because it just stays in the same place, you don't have to worry about your finger maybe accidentally moving.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And okay, so you have your finger there. So yeah, you do it with your finger. Show us exactly what you're doing.
So the way I do it is I just slowly rotate the wheel, seeing it's okay if your finger moves a little bit, just make sure it doesn't go in or out.
Okay.
As you can see, or as I can feel currently, it is rubbing against the entirety of the wheel until you hit right there where that tape is.
Ah, okay. And so you'd mark the tape so you know where it is.
Yeah. You can do it without marking, but it's not required.
So it's easier to mark so just so you know.
Yeah, just so you don't lose it.
Okay. And so what does it mean? Like between here, is that good that it's not touching, or is that bad? Like
that's bad that it's not touching. You want it all touching in exactly the same amount.
Okay. So how would we fix that? So you have you have
a spoke wrench, which you have to size to the actual spoke nipple.
So they're not all. It's not universal.
No, they're not.
Okay,
There's
cool.
3. So these are the 3 variant sizes.
So you're using the black one right now, right?
Yeah, which is the smallest of all of them.
Okay.
And
so which way are you turning it? Counterclockwise, clockwise?
Clockwise. You want to twist it clockwise like this.
You turn it clockwise, okay, and a lot, little, how much? Because
about 1/8 to a quarter turn, because it's extremely sensitive.
Can you like show us so like we see, like, because some people may not know what a quarter turn is. So like you start right there.
You start right there, and then you turn about that much.
Okay, so you turn a very small amount. Okay, so you want to, you go. So generally, what we've learned so far is that you have to make sure you have the right actual spoke wrench. Because if you have the wrong one, like he said, you could strip it. You also want to make sure that you use a zip tie if it's your first time, because that makes sure that you know exactly where the wheel is straight and where it's actually like bowed a little or maybe bending.
And most importantly, do not over tighten the spokes.
Do not over tighten, okay? And what will happen if you over tighten?
You can either snap a spoke or strip the nipple completely off the spoke.
Okay, and that could end with
you having to replace that spoke, which we all don't enjoy too much.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Dill, you've tightened some of them now. How close is this to being perfect?
Probably within a millimeter of accuracy.
Okay, so probably within a millimeter of accuracy, and a millimeter is...
Well, based on a factor of being a centimeter is around 1/2 inch.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but a millimeter is 1/10 of a centimeter. So just think of something about...
Maybe like the size of an ant. The length of an ant.
About the thickness of a grain of rice.
Okay, so about the thickness of a grain of rice is how off this could be to perfect. Because this could be considered a hack.
Yeah, it's an emergency situation.
This is an emergency situation, or if you don't have a perfect truing stand. And I don't think you need a perfect truing stand, because if it's within a millimeter, your ride is still going to be...
It's still going to be good, but most people prefer it being within like 0.1 of a millimeter, because it's, the XC people who...
The XC people.
Like everything perfect, which is perfectly reasonable.
Which makes sense, okay. Okay, so that's it for this week's SMBN episode. I hope you enjoyed the milk cartons and hope us found Dylan. We're still looking for David. We hope he's safe and we hope we can get him back to the show soon. Thank you again, Dylan, for your awesome instructions on how to true a wheel. You're very well spoken. Get it? Spoken, like spokes on a wheel.
I guess you're true on that.
I like that one. I like what you did there. So, you're making SMBN great again. It's the best show ever. Okay, so anything else you want to say, Dylan?
Well, I guess I could say ciao to all our viewers out there.
Okay, make sure you guys keep your wheels true, be safe, and go out and make it a good day to ride.